Hi, everybody. I just wanted to come on and continue my video series on spirit teachings and spiritual inspirations. I believe this is video number 7. I would like to talk about this book, On the Side of Angels, the Gordon Higginson's his authorized life story, and it was compiled by Jean Bassett. Jean Bassett is also an amazing orator who has really very interesting lectures on spiritualism that you can find on YouTube, I believe. This book is my favorite book of all books about mediumship. It's not the easiest to get. You can get it sometimes at the Arthur Findlay College. So if you know anyone who's going, if you want it, it's way cheaper there. You can find it on eBay sometimes, but it's crazy expensive. I don't know why. I would love to see if I could get the North American rights to some of these books and make them available to everyone in the U.S. But it's worth getting if you can find it. I know that this book he passed in 1992, and I believe he approved the galleys, the proofs, not long before he passed. So it's a great book about his life story from his childhood to his early training. His mother was also a famous medium and teacher in her own right, Fanny Higginson, quite strict, but obviously the training paid off because Gordon was an amazing evidential medium, trance medium, physical medium, was also a good healer, but he does admit he didn't have as much time to focus on his healing as he would have liked. Can't do everything, I guess. But he was the president of the Spiritual National Union and the head of the Arthur Findlay College, and also had a hand in helping the SNU, the Spiritual National Union, sort of come back from financial uncertainty and help make the college, Arthur Findlay College, what it is today. Okay, so as you can see, I basically marked almost every passage and every page of this book because I find it so good, and I'm going to move all these quotes that I will always give Mr. Higginson credit for into some sort of document, and I do use them in my teachings and in my classes sometimes, always give him credit, of course, but I'm not going to read the whole book to you. I just picked out a few. I might do another session on Mr. Higginson because the book is amazing. So I just pulled, I believe 2. I pulled 3. Let's see, I might get to 3. At least I'll get to 2 of these quotes that meant something to me, the passages that resonated with me for today. And now we'll start. Okay, so Gordon Higginson was quite big on going to watch other mediums demonstrate, to go to watch people do gallery readings, platform, evidential, trance demonstrations, inspired speaking demonstrations, all of it. He was very into going to support and watch other mediums work. And he says about this, going to watch other mediums work, he says, this is not to copy how they work, but to observe, to see that the evidence being presented is obtained from the spirit world, to notice that they take their time to get to know their spirit communicator, and finally to understand that they must work for the love of spirit with humility, and yet a certainty that comes with knowing you have made it, that you made a strong bridge between the worlds. Okay, so I really do like that quote because it talks about how a medium really has to understand that the information being presented to them is coming from the spirit world. It's not a psychic pull. It's not coming from their own minds, which does happen. I'm going to do another video on that point at a later date. But how it's important to realize the power of the spirit world around you and to understand that the evidence being presented is coming from the spirit world, and how that you need to take your time with the spirit communicator. You have to allow them to build their power. You have to then move and shift your awareness closer to them and blend with them and just sit with them and caress this energy and allow it to build and allow it to build, and just allow them to channel their spirit energy to you and work within this energy. Take your time. Don't rush. Let it build. endeavor to understand why they're coming. Of course, don't stop and wait, keep going. No pauses, please. Keep going in your readings, but you allow this energy to build and this power to expand, and you just ride the wave of the spirit energy that's building all through you and all around you. And really to understand that you, as the channel, as the medium, must work from a place of love and humility. That all we are as mediums are the conduit, the vessel for the spirit world to work through us, to bring their survival of so-called death into the physical realm, and to be humbled by it. It's an awesome responsibility that we have. So it has nothing to do with us, except within our training, except within our patience, in our development. But there's nothing that we're actually doing. We're just moving out of the way and allowing the spirit world to work through us, because we've taken the time to learn the language of the spirit, which I feel is the original language, because we are all spirit. And to do this all with the certainty of knowing that we have helped them to create this bridge between the worlds, between the physical world and the spirit world. But just take your time with it. Allow this energy to build. Allow the spirit communicator to get used to working with you, because they possibly have not worked with you before, so they have to get to know how you work. And we're all unique, and they're all unique. So allow them to also feel more comfortable communicating through us, through the medium. But do it all with a sense of humility and be humbled by the power of the spirit that is working through us. But at the same time, stay in the certainty that we are creating that bridge between the two realms. And this is not from Gordon Higginson, but I'm just going to add this because I'm feeling pressed to do it. And feel the gratitude of the spirit communicator and the spirit world that we are doing this, that we are being of service to God, to humanity, and to the spirit world. Feel the gratitude and the joy all around you. And that helps me when I'm working, is I just feel how happy they are. And I know that they know that I could be watching Netflix, I could be out on my bike, I could be walking somewhere, I could be shopping, I could be traveling. But no, I'm taking the time to work on my development and work on myself to become that clear and pure channel for them to work through. And that it's not an easy thing. It's really not an easy thing, because we have to get ourselves out of the way, which I think is one of the most difficult things to do as a medium. But I do love that quote, because it really does talk about, you have to make sure that the evidence is being presented, that it's coming from the spirit world. Very important. You have to take your time with it, allow their energy to build. And we must do this through the love of spirit and humility, but also with certainty that we are helping them create this bridge between the worlds. And I really love that passage. Okay, so that's one passage that I like. I'm sorry, I'm rushing a bit because I think I'd like to try to get through all three, and I don't like to make these videos too long. Okay, so the next passage I want to read, same book, Gordon Higginson, is as follows: the raising of the consciousness to meet our spirit energy, which then blends with the energy of the spirit world, really happens. It is as if the world changes and you are no longer conscious of time and space. I think that large meetings can be successful in this day, but you need workers who are trained to be ready for those occasions, and it must be done with spiritual, not material intent. Sorry, I didn't preface this before. So what he's talking about are these demonstrations, are these large demonstrations of mediumship, are these large demonstrations of inspired speaking, but how when you go to work with spirit, and whatever sort of spirit work you are being called to do, to raise your consciousness to meet the spirit energy, the energy of the spirit, and then blend with the energy of the spirit world. And as you blend your spirit, your energy, your vibration with the world of spirit, it really, for me, and I agree with what he's saying here, it really feels like I'm going into a bit of an altered state, not trance, not a full trance state, but anything I do with the spirit world, when I raise my vibration and blend my essence with the essence of the spirit communicator, I really do feel like time and space just moves out of the way. And I'm no longer aware of the physical world around me. I'm really just focused on the power of the power of the spirit communicator working with me and through me. So by doing this blending and by linking and by shifting my consciousness and shifting my vibration to the power and vibration of the spirit, I move into their realm. They're coming down a bit because they have to come down, and I'm trying to raise my consciousness and my vibration up to meet them in the middle, and then I can work with them fully. So you just have to train yourself to move into this space where you can blend, meld, and shift your full awareness to the power of the spirit working around you and then working through you for evidential mediumship, for trance mediumship, for inspired speaking, and for healing as well. But you just have to remember, it all must be done with a spiritual intent, not a material intent. Not because you want to fill this hall and get as many people in the seats as you possibly can, and then do, okay, per seat I'm charging this much, so I'm making this much for the evening. Okay, I'm bringing all these people in, and then they're all going to contact me for private readings so I can make this much money. Also, material intent can be because you want to feed your ego, because you want to show everyone how good you are, things like that. But it has to be done for spiritual intent. The spiritual intent is to help people, to help the spirit realm, to help God, to help, to be of service. That's the point. So what Mr. Higginson is talking about in these large gatherings of demonstrations, of inspired speaking, these groups are important because we can see, we can raise each other's vibrations, even if we're just sitting in the congregation, in the audience, but we're all raising our vibration. We're all getting touched by the power of the spirit in this demonstration, in this hall, in this church, in this storefront. If people are doing demonstrations, not in a church, doesn't really matter where you are. It's not the space so much as the intent that people are bringing into the space that we're creating for the spirit realm to work with us and through us. But how we're all touched by this vibrational and frequency of this love of the spirit realm. So it's important to gather and be together because we're all being touched by it. It's moving through the whole space that we're in. And the more we can sit within this spirit energy, in this high vibration, in this love, and feel the power of the spirit all around us, like I said, it doesn't mean just for the medium, the speaker working, it's for everyone there. You can feel it. And then we all bring this power out into the world. But it's important to understand that it's the raising of the consciousness to meet the spirit energy and then blend with it. And that really does happen. It's a phenomenon that's been proven, and it's true. And the more of us that can do it, the more we can bring this love and this intention of helping everyone out into the world. Okay. So I'm going to do the third quote because this is completely different. But Gordon Higginson also was very big on prayer. And I don't feel enough people really pray. And the minute anyone says the word pray, you're thinking you're going to take out the Bible and pray. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. And Mr. Higginson actually says it quite well here. It's also not about, please God, help me get through this and I will promise to, be a better person, or help me get this job and I will promise that I will do more good deeds. Okay, that's not what it is. So he says about prayer, Mr. Higginson, prayer is not all about asking, demanding, even when we think that we are asking for the right things. Prayer is listening, communicating, being at one with reality, the reality of God. In prayer, we become our God, and if we listen, we are given the answers, the strength and the knowledge to see through our troubles, not from an outside source, but from an inner reality. In that touching of the soul with the great spirit of the universe, God, we are filled with love and humanity. We no longer want for ourselves, but we want which is right for humanity. Okay, that I do think is the true nature and purpose of prayer, to pray for humanity, to pray for the greater good, which is everyone's happiness, everyone's health, everyone's progression, everyone's evolution. Okay, so it's, to me, when I pray, and I do pray quite a bit before I go to bed, I'm never praying out, like up, because that's not where I feel God is. I feel God is within me. So I'm sort of praying and listening from the inside. And I just try to get very quiet. And I just when I pray, I just find the God source within me, which I believe is in my spirit, and I just try to get very quiet. And I just say, what would you have me do to be of service? That's it. And then I just listen. And I just try to get closer to the reality of God, the reality of love. And I know when I pray, I become closer to my God, to my Creator. And then I'm given an answer about what I can do to help. And it's very simple. The answers are very simple. It might actually just be a nudge to go one way, or a word about how to help. And I'm given the strength and the knowledge that whatever problems I'm facing, I can get through it. And all the problems I'm usually facing, they're coming from an outside source, from the physical realm. And that physical realm has nothing to do with my spirit or with the presence of God within my spirit. So I go within to my inner reality and I just pray. And when I do this, I know that I'm touching the soul of God, and God is touching my soul. And I'm just filled with love. And I really don't really want for myself anymore. I want for I want to help, and I want to be of service to humanity, to every man, every woman, every child, every animal, and the world itself. And I just want to help. So I think that, to me, is the perfect definition of prayer. It's not about what you want and about demanding and giving God a list of your needs. It's really about, how can I help? How would you have me help? And letting my heart just fill with love and humility, and then listening quietly to what I'm being told to do. And it can take some time to really hear what God wants you to do, but the answer does come. But I don't think it's about, prayer is not about a bargaining. Like, if you give me this, I'll do this. Or if you help me get through this, I promise to do this. It's really about, what is the bigger picture and how can I help? That being said, God is, everyone has their own personal relationship with God and their belief. So if you feel God is more the light, or the universe, or the infinite love, then focus on that. Everyone, I would never tell anyone how to think about God, but I think that it's pretty much understood that there is a superior and divine intelligence that's operating here in the physical realm and definitely operating in the spiritual realm. So, and I do feel that if God or whatever the creator would pull this power back from the physical realm and the spirit realm, life in any realm would cease to exist, in any reality, in any dimension. Okay. So, okay, good. So I got through these three quotes. I'm sorry I rushed a bit through, but I thought they were all important to talk about. And I will, yeah, I'll do another video in the coming days and continue the series. I'm having fun doing them, and as long as people can get something out of them, I'm happy to continue. I wish everyone a lovely day, and I send you my love.